soft wind blowing. Distant mountain echoes, gentle music begins to rise. Calm, deep voice. These mountains are more than just stone. They whisper stories of survival, of silence, of fading legends. For centuries, a king has ruled these cliffs, not with a roar, not with force, but with grace, solitude, and strength. He is the Markhor, Pakistan's hidden crown jewel, a creature on the edge of time, a ghost of the wild, waiting to be remembered. Music swells briefly, and the main documentary begins. Narration script. The spiral horn ghost of the mountains. Calm, cinematic tone. High in the rugged folds of the western Himalayas, a creature walks the ridgelines where clouds kiss stone. Silent, elusive, majestic, this is the Markhor, Pakistan's mountain monarch. It's twisted. Spiral horns crown its head like a relic of myth. But this beast is no legend. It's real, it's rare, and it's on the brink. Found only in a handful of places across northern Pakistan, Afghanistan, and parts of India, the Markhor is a wild goat like no other. Tall, muscular, and with a coat that changes color with the seasons. This animal is built for extremes, and it needs to be. Here, winters freeze the river solid, and summers scorch the ground bare. But the Markhor climbs higher, navigating cliffs where few predators dare follow. Its horns, rising in perfect spiral symmetry, are both a weapon and a wonder. No two look the same, but beauty can be a curse. The Markhor's horns have made it a prize. For hunters, for trophies, for status, even where laws exist to protect it, like in Afghanistan or certain Indian sanctuaries. Poaching continues, shadows in the lawless valleys. The silence of the mountains hides many crimes. Slightly hopeful tone. In India, the Markhor has found refuge. 3 wildlife sanctuaries, Limber, Lakipura, and Harapura, are now being united into a single national park, Kazanag National Park, a haven not just for the Markhor, but for snow leopards, brown bears, and eagles. And in Pakistan, the Naltar Wildlife Sanctuary and other highland reserves still echo with the clatter of Markhor hooves, but their numbers remain fragile. Estimates suggest only around 5,800 remain. Just one population has more than 1,000 individuals. Closing tone. Once, these mountains were ruled. Survivor of stone and snow. Soft tone reflective. In the high-altitude silence of Gilgit-Baltistan, the Markhor stands like a symbol carved from rock. Stoic, patient, watchful. Here, where cliffs drop into cold canyons, and avalanches echo through narrow gorges, survival isn't a right. It's a test, repeated daily. The Markhor grazes on dry shrubs, tough grasses, and thorny bushes clinging to the slopes. Food is scarce. Predators lurk. But the Markhor climbs with grace, balancing on ledges no wider than a book's spine. Each step is careful. Every move, precise. This is no ordinary goat. It's a mountaineer in a world built for the daring. Males can grow horns over 5 feet long, weapons in brutal battles during the mating season. When winter draws near, dominant males descend into valleys to compete. They clash, twist, and push, horns grinding in thunderous duels that echo off the rock. The victor earns the right to mate. The defeated, wounded, or exiled. This ritual keeps their bloodline strong. But it also leaves them vulnerable to hunters. One shot from a rifle, and a legacy spiraled in bone. Ends forever. Narrator, calm and serious. And yet, there is hope in unexpected places. In some Pakistani communities, the markhor has become more valuable alive than dead. Through community-based conservation, villages are given economic incentives to protect the species. Ecotourism, controlled trophy hunting quotas, and education have helped populations recover slowly but surely. When the local people benefit, so does the wildlife. Narrator, emotional close. The Aster markhor is more than a rare animal. It is a symbol of coexistence, of what can be saved when pride meets purpose. Across the mountains of Pakistan, where snowflakes fall on ancient trails, the spiral horn survivor still climbs, still watches, still waits. If we protect its world, perhaps it will remain part of ours. Title: Born on the Edge, The Struggle of a Markhor Kid. Studio microphone narrator, deep, calm tone. Ambient music begins, slow wind blowing a distant eagle cries. High in the northern mountains of Pakistan, where the sky touches stone, and silence rules the cliffs, a quiet battle begins. A mother markhor, strong, graceful, has just given birth on a ledge barely wide enough to stand. The snow is deep, the wind bites, the drop below is unforgiving. Her baby, small, trembling, takes its first breath. Its legs wobble, its hooves slip on a cold rock, but it must rise, it must learn to stand fast. Because here in the mountains of Gilgit-Baltistan, life doesn't wait for the weak. Snowflake, this is no nursery. This is survival. Within hours, the baby markhor takes its first shaky steps. It nurses from its mother, draws strength, and starts a journey where each day is a fight to live. Tornado dangers are everywhere. Overhead, a golden eagle circles, silent, sharp-eyed, waiting for a mistake. In the shadows, a snow leopard watches, camouflage in stone, patient, deadly. Even man with rifles and greed sometimes climbs these slopes, not for wonder, but for trophies. Steep cliffs, slippery trails, falling rocks, hunger. Every challenge begins before the kid can even run. Crown, and what about the father? The male markhor, majestic and proud, with long, spiraled horns that command respect. He does not raise his young. He doesn't share the burden of feeding or protection. He lives apart, roaming the higher slopes, fighting other males for dominance and territory. But sometimes, when danger approaches, he lets out a deep warning call that echoes across the cliffs, a distant signal, a watchful gesture, not love, but instinct. Broken heart the mother, she is the warrior. She guards a baby with her body, hides it between rocks, nudges it gently toward food, and, if needed, faces down danger with her horns. There are no warm shelters, no safety nets, only grit, and a mother's will to protect. Ere the seasons turn, the baby learns to climb, to leap across narrow ledges, to find grass between stones, to disappear into shadows when danger nears. Weeks turn to months, and still the mountain asks, "Are you strong enough to stay?" Because the first year is the hardest. More than half will not survive it. Cold, hunger, predators, falls. But if it does, if it lasts through the storms and silence, then it will have earned its place among the cliffs. Musical note. And so the story continues. A story not just of a goat, but of a creature born on the edge of the world. where every heartbeat is a victory, where love is fierce and quiet. Narration script: The Silent Survivor, Life of the Blue Bull. Soft ambient music in background, wind gently blowing across dry grasslands. Calm, reflective tone. In the heart of the Indian subcontinent, where the fields stretch wide and the sun blazes unforgivingly, a quiet shadow moves through the tall grass. It is not a bull. It is not a deer. It is the blue bull, the Neel Gaye, Asia's largest antelope, and perhaps one of its most misunderstood, a creature of contrast. The name blue bull comes from the bluish-gray coat of the male. With a powerful frame, tall limbs, and a proud neck, the Neel Gaye looks like a mix between a cow and a horse, but it belongs to neither. Males can grow up to 5 feet at the shoulder and weigh over 250 kilograms. Females are smaller, a lighter fawn color, and unlike the males, they often lack horns. They don't roar, they don't bellow. Instead, they carry themselves with silent dignity, roaming the open plains, scrub forests, and agricultural fields across India, Nepal, and parts of southern Pakistan, especially in Punjab and Sindh. A life on the edge. The Neel Gaye is a herbivore. Its diet is simple yet diverse. Grasses, crops, pods, seeds, and sometimes leaves from acacia and other hardy trees. But in recent decades, the boundaries between wild lands and human farmlands have blurred. As forests shrink and villages expand, the Neel Gaye has learned to adapt, and in doing so, it has also entered a conflict it never asked for. They are often seen grazing in sugarcane fields, wheat plantations, cotton farms. For the farmers, this graceful animal becomes a pest. But for the Neel Gaye, this is survival. Built to survive, but not escape. Unlike deer, Neel Gaye don't leap. They gallop powerfully with long strides. But their heavy bodies can't match the speed or agility of true runners. They rely instead on keen senses. A Neel Gaye hears before it sees. It sees before it moves. It flees before it fights. Predators in the wild are few, mainly leopards, wolves, or stray dogs in rural areas. But the greatest threat comes not from nature. Hunted without roar. Across parts of South Asia, Neel Gaye are hunted, sometimes legally, often not. In India, they're protected by law, yet ironically, sometimes declare vermin due to crop damage, allowing culling. In Pakistan, they're not formally protected. Here, trophy hunters pay for the thrill. Others kill for meat or revenge for ruined crops. Their large size makes them an easy target. Their calm behavior makes them predictable. Often, they are shot in open fields or chased by vehicles until exhaustion claims them. Sometimes, traps are laid. Sometimes, poison is used. And sometimes, the kill is not for food, but simply for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. The next generation. A female Neel Gaye gives birth to 1 to 2 calves after a long pregnancy of nearly 8 months. She will hide them in tall grass, visiting them quietly to nurse. The calves are vulnerable to jackals, wild dogs, and sometimes even birds of prey. But their greatest danger is not the wild. It's the tractor that doesn't see them. It's a fire that burns crop leftovers and consumes hidden nests. It's the field that was once forest, now planted, fenced, and patrolled, where they still roam. Despite the odds, the Neel Gaye survives. In India, especially in Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, and Madhya Pradesh, they still roam in large numbers. In Pakistan, Smaller populations live in Lal Sahana National Park, Khalistan Desert, and scattered dry regions of Punjab. They prefer semi-arid scrublands, thorn forests, and open woodlands. They avoid dense jungles. They seek open spaces where eyes can see danger coming. Neither sacred nor wild. In Hindu tradition, the Neel Gaye is often mistaken for a cow, and thus not killed. But tradition bends under pressure. In modern agriculture-driven communities, the Neel Gaye is no longer sacred, only inconvenient. And yet, they are not entirely wild either. They live in the shadow of human expansion. Too wild to be protected like livestock, too familiar to be seen as a rare species. A final image. Picture this. A golden sunset over dry land. A single Neel Gaye walks across the field, tall, slow, alone. In its eyes, no fear, no anger, just silence. It walks not to conquer, not to destroy, but to exist. In a world that no longer makes space for its kind, the Neel Gaye continues its journey. Silent, enduring, a shadow of the wild, fading but still walking.